Welcome back to another episode of Dumb Stuff with Matt. See, after last episode, I got the intake and exhaust pulled off. Had some bad news, so we ordered a new header. I do have the carburetor kit sitting over there waiting to be put on. The header should hopefully be here Monday or Tuesday. So in the meantime, I went ahead and cleaned up the block real nice, gave her a nice coat of paint. I did not paint right over the ports. Not stupid, guys. Figured it was easier than taping off. So let's get back to our list, shall we? So, I think today we're going to knock out this cut and buff. Now, I kind of already started doing this, but I'm switching up my routine. I learned a few things here in the last hour. That has been wet sanded in 1000 grit sandpaper. I'm going to go over it with 1500, then 2000. And I got a new concoction of super cheap buffing compound that seems to work perfect. So, let me get after that, and then we'll touch base after I get done wet sanding. Okay, gone through, done 1500 grit, 2000 grit. I've now let it dry. I found these turtle products at Walmart for like $5 a can, or $5 a bottle. So what I'm going to try to do is just do this with polishing compound instead of buying all the expensive buff and cut and super expensive ones. So let's give this a shot, see what happens here. Then we'll just go over the whole car with like a some sort of maybe a ceramic coat or normal, just good old wax. So do the normal, smear it around a little bit. Come in slow, spread it all out. I typically will start on the slowest speed because I don't want to throw the goo all over everything. And after I got it spread out and it's starting to goo up a little bit, give her a little more beans. Well, what did I do? Did I pull it out of the wall? I bet I did. No, I didn't. Did I just lose my buffer? No, that was weird. That was weird. Well, I think I'm going to have to do some more wet sand anyway, so maybe we'll just let that buffer sit and contemplate life right now. So I'm going to put you guys on Hyperloop. I'm going to go ahead and do another 1,000, another 15, another 2,000 down this door side here, try to get it so it's smoothed out. I can still see some runs from the original paint job. I can see a lot of things. And the scarier part is, I know what it's going to look like when it's done. It's going to look like that. So, let me get to getting here. I will be back with you guys as soon as I've got an answer here. It would definitely appear that there's a short in the plug-in of the buffer there. But you can see that was just with the polishing or the rubbing compound that I applied there, how much better that looks. We're going to go ahead and try the polishing compound next, and then we're just going to work our way down that door. And we're going to come back here and hit this quarter again. The back quarter doesn't look real good, but man, that little, I don't know if you can see it, but there's some sparkle in that paint, and it is really cool looking. So, back on Hyperloop for you guys. We're going to finish out the door, then start on the rear quarter. I gotta say, that really worked for about $12 in product and about 40 minutes of time. We're gonna go ahead and go over this with some sort of protective finish. I was thinking about doing ceramic, but this car is a little too janky for ceramic. What should we use? What should we use? We've got, well, we had some cleaner wax for boats. Would that do the trick? Oh, here we go. We got some Maguire's. Maguire's cleaning wax. Looks like the pad's been well used. Let's give this let's give this a go. Let's see what it does. Kind of the normal. You know, if you guys don't know how to wax your own car, don't take any tips from me because I'm kind of half-ass at it. Wipe it in. We'll do the bottom stripe or the bottom rocker a little later in the day, mostly because I just put that sticker on. I want to make sure it's had as much time to cure up as possible. And we're just going to do the door for right now because I'm expecting a delivery at any moment. So trying to keep it to where I'm not causing myself more problems. I used to actually apply wax with a buffer, but then it never looked as good as when I did it by hand. So I just started doing it by hand and saying, screw it. Okay, let's let that fog up. See what our final product is. Well, it's fogged up. Let's get her off there. See what's underneath. Yep, that'll work. Not perfect, but better than it was. See a little bit of yourself in the reflection. Yep, we'll take it. Like I said, again, I'll do the bottom rocker after I'm sure that that sticker I put on a week or so ago is dry. I did go ahead and do the wax the rear quarter off of camera. It's looking pretty snazzy as well. Again, this car was no looker when I got her. The fact that I was able to save the original paint, well, not the original paint, but the paint job that was painted in 1982, I think is kind of cool. If you don't like it, piss off. So, I think that'll do just fine. I'm going to get the carbon intake off the back. We're going to do the trunk lid in the same process I just did. I'll put you guys in Hyperloop for that. No need to sit and, watch it at normal speed. And there is the rear deck done. I think we're going to take a little break, and then we're going to focus on the passenger or the driver's side. It was already pretty shiny, so I think we're just going to hit it with the buffer, throw a coat of wax on it, call her good. Hang tight here. And here we go. Let's get that coat of wax off. See how she turned out. Probably pretty decent, I think, for an old car with a 42-year-old paint job. I think it's going to turn out just fine. A whole lot cheaper than repainting the thing, because then I'd have to do all the body work. And I'm certainly not paying that much money for a car that's not even worth $5,000 in good restored condition. This is just supposed to be a little beater car for autocrossing. Oh yeah, she is shining right up. Got a few more things I'd like to get done today. We do have some stuff going on with the neighbors this evening. So let's just work through the afternoon. Oh yes, looking good. Wow, I can't believe how well that polish worked. That was $6 a bottle at Walmart, guys. Cannot beat that. About now, I will post a picture below of what this car looked like when I pulled it out of the garage that I pulled it out of, where it had been sitting for, I was told, 40 years. So, let me get you guys a good walk around. See how there's a bunch of little, I don't know if it's gold metallic or what, but this thing looks like a bass boat in person. Maybe tomorrow we can knock out most of the cut and buff, right? All we got left is the hood. So we'll halvesies that one. All right, guys, I'll check back in with you. Well, when did you guys get here? Obviously, our header has arrived. It appears to be correct. One small problem. So close, but so far away. So I have two options. I can notch the frame, which I don't think is a great idea. Or we can undo the motor mounts and pick the engine up with a jack, then slide our manifold down underneath. This kind of seems like a good idea. And there's a bonus to that. We were going to do our motor mounts anyway. They're right here. These look like quality units. Probably not. But they do look better than what's in there. Obviously, pretty cracked, pretty terrible looking. So, I think what we're going to try to do is a 2-for-1, I guess. So let me put you on the stand. I'm going to put you in fast mode. I never done this before, so there's probably going to be some head scratching. So let's get after it. Well, that wasn't so bad. You can see there is one bolt that holds the mount to the engine. 9/16 nut. Stud goes into the mount. Then there are two mounts that hold the mount to the frame. So I've actually got it loose. I just need the engine to come up a little bit to get it out. But yeah, she's ready to come out. Now we just got to do the other side. I've already got the engine supported by the floor jack. So let me knock that out real quick and then we'll get back to it. Well, we got updates. I was in the middle of swapping the motor mounts, and now that both sides were done, the motor wanted to fall over. So I kind of had to get witty real quick. So I think for now we're just going to change this one. Once all this is buttoned back up, we'll go to the other side and lift it up and knock that side out. So you can see, got a new motor mount in there. The old one was, just as I suspected, pretty well garbage. You know, separating right there. Just all in all, she was due. Get rid of that thing. So, here's where we're at now. During my struggle to keep the engine up, my bright idea was to go ahead and shove that header down in there while I had everything moving. If you're following my lead here, fellas, don't do that. buy a real quality header. I have been pounding the bejesus out of this thing with a hammer. Pretty much this pipe all the way to the collector, I had to remove or pound in probably that much or so, give or take. It did not get past the frame rail. I eventually ended up taking a pry bar and putting it about right here and just giving it a good push. It does seem to be fitting now, so that's great. But I went to fit the intake manifold just to check. And I bet you already know what's not going to happen. Because why would anybody make decent aftermarket parts for these? Makes no sense to me. So I think what we're going to do here is we're going to have to look at the intake, figure out what needs carving on, and how much we can carve on it. And then we will look at the exhaust manifold, how much needs carved on that before we have problems. So let's just, I'm not even going to video this, I'm just going to put my head down and push right through it. So off I go. Well, would you look at those shiny parts on a piece of trash. Holy moly, I think I just touched my lens there, kind of foggy. Oh, that looks a little better. All right, let me take a drink of this here real quick and let my heart rate settle back down. All right, so if you're following along, this is the Weber 3236 Progressive Carburetor intake assembly. For this header, which is the cheapy one off of eBay, I pretty much had to go all the way around this thing so that it all would sit together. Essentially what was happening is the intake would come in and hit the top of the header or the side of the header. So we just slowly took off material. There was places where I did take off maybe a 1/4 inch. Obviously keep in mind of watching where the runners are at on the intake, making sure that it didn't, get into that. There is a bolt here, 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 and here, here, down in here, down in here, and here. Now you'll notice this one over here is sticking out still. That's because I bought a replacement nut or bolt, but it was too long. So this will do for now. I can go to town tomorrow, grab the correct bolt for that. So I guess the next big step is let's put the carburetor on, and then we'll start fiddling with that. So, got your gasket, carburetor, I'm dropping all the washers off of. That's great. Most expensive part on the car, and I'm just throwing it around in circles. I believe it goes on just like this. Now we should have a throttle. Yep. Okay. There's also a throttle bracketry. That needs to go on like that. All right. Let me get these bolted down, and then we'll go to the next thing. Kind of burned through that without much taping, but you get the idea. It's not a whole lot of rocket science here. 1/2 inch bolts. This was a brand new one, so it's fresh out of the box. I still have to hook up the choke yet. That'll come at the end after I can get it to run. I went to look to see if I could try to start this thing and realized that I ain't got no gas in it. So we're going to call it a night here. Thursday evening. Tomorrow morning's the video. Or not tomorrow morning, I'm sorry, tomorrow afternoon. If you are following me on this Weber Carb, be cautious when it comes to putting this little fella on. That is the part that actually attaches the throttle cable to the carburetor. As you can see there, I might have given it a little too much ugga-dugga, and it snapped off. Luckily, I had already bought one of the universal throttle cable kits from AutoZone, and you can see over here the little contraption I put together. It works out just fine. But that is going to do it for tonight. I'm going to grab some fuel tomorrow. We will get this thing hopefully fired up tomorrow evening, and then I can get this video posted. So, happy Thursday, y'all. We'll see you tomorrow. Well, now we've got something to drive around. Just made his first trip up to the gas station, and I'll bet 40 years. So, I think that's going to wrap it up for this one, guys. Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, hit the likey, subscribey, doodaddy at the bottom. Man, that carburetor is going to take some work, and I need to get this thing to an exhaust shop, something horrible. It is rowdy. All right, guys. See you on the next one.